And today is one of the most significant days of my life. Today is November 30th, 2022. Now, why today is so significant is because this is the 10-year anniversary of my sobriety. And I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to say it, if I wanted to write it out. And so I've decided to do a video, and I've decided to do it in one take. And I'm just going to tell it how it is. And some might think that such a video is oversharing. And that might be true, but I've decided that by sharing my story, if there's one person out there that this benefits, then it was worth it for me. And it's not generally a good business practice to admit that you were an alcoholic, and but this is real life. And this is my story. So I am 44 years old, and I became self-employed in 2010. And I'm married, and I now have 10 kids. My oldest is 19. My youngest is 1.5. And when I became self-employed, the weight of running your own business, and also having a large family. Back then, I don't remember how many kids I had, but it was at least 5. I should know that, but I don't. The way that I coped with it was drinking. Now, in college, I did the typical college party thing. And then I actually stopped drinking at 21, which is ironic. When I started getting involved with campus ministry at K-State and with a group called the Navigators. And my early 20s, didn't really drink much at all. And even when I got married, I could have a 6-pack of beer in the fridge and it would last a while. Wasn't a big deal. But over time, I found myself drinking more on the weekends, maybe drinking too much, getting drunk on a Friday night. And pretty soon I found myself looking for excuses to go out to the garage or mow the yard. And pretty soon I was drunk 3 nights a week, and then 5 nights a week, and then at its peak is at least 6 nights a week. And the reason why I was able to get away with it is because I didn't have to get up and go someplace in the morning. I worked from home. And so typically what I would do is I'd start drinking around 10, and I would pass out drunk around 2 a.m. And I was drinking about my average night was about 10 IPAs. And my wife didn't like it. My wife didn't approve. It caused a lot of problems in our marriage. I was hiding alcohol behind the spare bathroom towels that we never used. I was drinking warm beer, just pretty pathetic things. And then I started doing even more dangerous things like drinking and driving. And that's not fun to admit. I I quickly realized, after driving home an hour drunk from a Chiefs game, I realized that I was either going to either kill someone else, kill myself, or end up in jail, or end up divorced, which I don't think my wife would have divorced me, but things were not good. And my health, like, it was starting to affect my health. I had very pale skin, and I had some people who at church who dealt with substance abuse and addiction ministries, and they said, "Man, like if you don't stop this, like you're gonna die in your mid-40s." So I decided to go to a treatment center and get evaluated. And they evaluated me, and they said, we definitely recommend outpatient, but if you want to do inpatient, there's definitely a case to be made for that. I did not want to go to rehab, and I wanted to stop drinking, but then I didn't. And for those of you who know someone who have an addiction, so like alcohol is a very physical addiction. So at 5 p.m., like it's all you're thinking about. I always used to have to make a mental inventory of how much alcohol I had, how much beer, and sometimes bourbon I had at home, because I didn't want to have to drive the 2 miles drunk to get more beer. And so it's just something that completely overtakes your life. And I decided that I wanted to stop drinking, but I didn't want to go to rehab. So I was kind of stuck. And then by stuck, I just kept drinking. And I was at church one Sunday, and this is November. No, this must have been fall of 2012. My church, so for those of you who have read my bio, I'm a Christian, pretty open about that. There was an opportunity to go to Honduras with an organization called Living Water International. And what Living Water does is they go into a remote village in Honduras, and they drill a well for a village that doesn't have water. And I thought, that's what I need to do. I'm pretty nervous right now. And so I signed up for Living Water. And 2 nights, well, the last night that I drank was November 29th, 2012. I left for Honduras December 1st, 2012. So I did not drink on November 30th, 2012, which is why today is 10 years. So essentially, I went to Honduras with my church team, very hot, humid, very hard work, drilling a well. And I went through withdrawal in Honduras. I went cold turkey. And it was helpful in actually a lot of ways. I was around a good support system. I actually told the team there what I was going through. So I had a lot of prayer. And to this day, I have a common bond with a lot of those guys. But I full on sweated it out and detoxed in Honduras. Came back to the States, determined to never drink again, and I knew that the only way that I would have a fighting chance is if I stayed completely away from. Well, first of all, I did everything I could to not drive past my liquor store. I could not go to any type of. I could not go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I could not go to any any type of sports bar, any type of place that served alcohol. I could not do that for a full 6 months. And I didn't do any tailgating or anything like that for a good year. And if you or someone that you love is dealing with alcohol, or really any type of substance abuse, or I was talking to a friend he wants to lose 80 pounds. And I just said, like, the places you go that contribute to the problem that you're trying to fix, you have to stop going there. You have to completely shift your lifestyle. So, the first week was horrible. The first month was horrible. There were several times when I drove past that liquor store, and man, I just had to keep on going. And first 6 months were horrible. First year was terrible. And then it starts getting bad around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Like, everyone's drinking. And I think they call that the death triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. That's what. And I actually never went to AA except for one time. And that was to get my 1 year coin. I went on my 1 year anniversary to get my 1 year coin. But I never went back. I never went to any other AA meetings. So I sit here today, 10 years later, and I can tell you that it's the best decision I ever made. Sober life seems real boring at first, and for the first year, it really kind of sucked. And then you realize after a while that sober life is actually real life. And you realize that your relationships that are built around drinking or partying or whatever it is, those are not authentic relationships. Those aren't real. Those relationships are built and centered around drinking or alcohol or drugs, whatever it is. And the moment that you take that element away, do you still have that same rapport and camaraderie with those people? Probably not. Are those people going to come visit you in the hospital when you're sick? Are those the people, those drinking buddies, those party friends? Can you rely on them when you're really in a pinch? Probably not, because by doing that, drinking, and especially being an alcoholic like I was, I actually hate the word alcoholic. I'm at peace with it now. I guess you could say I'm still an alcoholic because you never stop, but I'm not. I don't feel like I am an alcoholic because I'm not imprisoned by it anymore. I know that one drink and I'll be, I was someone who could not drink one beer. I was someone who I would drink 12 or 20. So I know that I have to completely stay away from it. The only time I've ever touched a beer bottle in the last 10 years is to pick one up out of the ditch by my house. Like, people throw their trash or whatever. But sober relationships, those are your real friendships. And I found that actually my friends at church are actually my best friends, not the people I used to drink with or whatever. And not that I used to drink with a bunch of people, because I actually hid out by myself and drank. I said that I was going to do this in one take. And so, what are the takeaways here? First of all, if you or someone that you love wants to stop drinking or fill in the blank, most people are powerless to do that themselves. And this is where I get religious. So watch out. So you might want to shut it off if that's going to offend you. I'm a Christian, and there is no way that I could. There's no reason why I was able to stop cold turkey after being passed out drunk 6 nights a week for 3+ years. That's every night, almost. And the reason why it wasn't 7 nights a week, because I felt like crap. There's no reason why I was able to stop that and be sitting here making this video 10 years later, apart from Jesus Christ. And, some of you might roll your eyes at that, and that's fine. But that's the truth. And it's really tempting to hide something like this and not make yourself vulnerable, but who benefits from that? No one. God gets the glory. And I know that there's someone watching this video who, or I hope, who will see my story, can identify with some of it, and realize that there is hope. Because when you're in the pit, it seems impossible to get past 5 p.m. without drinking. And so I guess that's my takeaway, or I guess that's what I want to convey, is that if you are in the pit like I was, or if you have a loved one who is in the pit, and like at the time I did not see any way out, and so I legitimately thought that there was a good possibility that I would die from my liver giving out. If you look at pictures from me back then to now, my eyes, and if you have family members, maybe you notice it, my eyes always looked like I had, like I hadn't been sleeping. My skin was pale. It's because I was poisoning myself. And so again, this video is kind of rambling, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I am grateful to God that I'm sitting here today and can record this video, I'm sure that this will be mocked either publicly or privately, and that's fine, because it's not about me. This is about you or the person that you know struggling with alcohol, and knowing that there is hope getting out of the pit. There's all sorts of self-help, mental stuff out there. That's a bunch of crap. There is only one person who can help you out of this pit, and that's Jesus. And it's triggering to some people to even say that word, and but it's the truth. In John chapter 10, I actually saw this weekend, and I thought it was appropriate. Jesus was saying to the Pharisees, if you don't believe my words, and that's fine, but believe the work that the Father has done. And so you don't have to believe everything that you've heard about Christianity or about Jesus or even my words. The only thing that you need to believe is what he's done in my life. And as you ponder, hopefully my words resonate with you, and as you ponder my story, if you want help out of the pit. Oh, my computer went to sleep. That tells me this is a long video. 20 minutes. As you try different things to get out of that pit, to not lose your marriage, to be a better husband, wife, father, mother to your kids, as you're feeling guilty about your kids seeing drunk mom or drunk dad, or seeing a trash can full of beer bottles, or the clank of beer bottles as you take the trash out. One of the things I'm grateful for is that my kids were not old enough. My oldest was 9 at the time. He's 19. My oldest was 9 at the time. They're not old enough, or they weren't old enough at the time to remember me drinking. And now, like, I can talk to them about actually, drinking isn't a sin, but it's extremely dangerous. Remember my story, and I have a testimony with my kids. I have 9 boys, and some of them will probably struggle with alcohol like I do, just statistically. I hope they don't, but I hope that they can remember my story and know that I've been there, and so I can say to them, alcohol can ruin your life. It's by the grace of God that I didn't do something that landed me in jail that would have had significant adverse effects on my life. And so if you're feeling guilty about being one of those hey kids, do as I say, not as I just did. If you're feeling guilty about that, there's a way out. There's a way out of the pit. And after you've exhausted all other possibilities, I would encourage you just to pray, God, Jesus, please reveal yourself to me. Show me something. That guy Jeff, in his long rambling video, he mentioned you. I want to try it. So that's it. This is a big deal to my family. We're actually getting away to celebrate as a family. I'm very open about what God did in my life. I've spoken in front of my church about it. I don't hide it. I've just never revealed it before in a business context. But, it's real life. This is real. And I think if you made it to this far, thank you for watching. If you or a friend are struggling and you want to email someone who gets it, that's really why I made this video. My email is jeff@another71.com, jeff@another71.com. And I hope that my story can be encouraging, and for anyone else who wants to reach out to someone who gets it, I would love to hear from you. So thank you for listening.